back to the Dice Club for episode 127 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and we have our players be here, same as always. We have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. I think I'll just go ahead and jump right into a nice little recap, and we can go back to the slow motion action film we were in for a solid like 5 seconds. But currently, the party has decided to stay another day at the library researching as their list grows, and they're like, well, we got here in an hour, so we have so much time that we could spend researching.
Relative to what we would have spent traveling.
It's true. Gathering more information on where they're heading, what people might be up to, more information on kind of like subcategories of the things they already researched. Keld finding information about hags, Nana and Fen working to copy all of the maps they can of the area surrounding the Forest of Eden. And while you're there, Dagwood is still present, and present I'm going to use loosely. As while she reads, she gently taps the tip of her quill against her thumb to keep herself conscious. And Nyx decides that, well, I don't want to be here, and I could help somebody. So while in the library, casts Greater Restoration to be the first person banned from the library of this team, and she is sent on her way by a magical light that grabs her and basically throws her out of the library after taking a drop of her blood to add to not a little, but like a large inkwell that keeps track of probably who can and cannot enter the library. But this seems to give Dagwood some energy that was lacking, as you had not seen her stand for hours, and she was at this point able to. Also, the Shadow decided on day 2 they were going to take a chance and try to enter the library, and it seems that they are not immediately dispelled or banned, and just kind of walked around and then hung out with Dagwood the whole time. Just went over there and hung out, reading over her shoulder. And some of you could notice that it seemed Dagwood was like talking softly. Only one of you could really see the Shadow at this time, but at one point, Dagwood kind of gives a shocked gasp, finding something amongst the books, and then seemingly relaxing after finding this information. And then her and Morden spend time putting books away until there is an empty table at which she was once sitting that was once filled with books. Which, during this time, she has a, one could say, stern but fair conversation, depending on your point of view. And by conversation, I mean one-sided speech, where she's like, listen, a friend is somebody who drops everything for the other person. I do not expect that of you because we are not friends. So do not call me your friend and ask me to tell you secrets that are friend-level secrets when y'all weren't busting me out of a basement. You know, she's like, I didn't expect you to, but understand that's where we are. I don't think you'll save me, but I also can't tell you these things. It's just, the title does not fit, in her opinion. And just real quick, during this time, Nana also has a heart-to-heart with a literal goddess, which vaguely got overshadowed by the end of the episode, but we at least not forget a god showed up, just to be like, hey, man. As Nana comes to terms with this imagery of flowers she keeps seeing is probably not prophetic and just more trauma-centric, and coming to terms with that. And after taking a moment of silence at this statue of Snotra, she comes forth in Nana's mind and talks to her about why Nana leads. Why does she need to lead to care? And sort of puts forward the idea of in this situation, the enemy of prudence is hubris and obligation. And is like, I've seen many men die on a mountain. I don't want to see you die on a mountain. And sort of suggests that there is no need for leadership in some scenarios. And then is gone from you. As Nana takes that however she wants to take that. But has a pretty good time at the library comparably. And after Dagwood's speech about what friendship means to her, and also that Ave is a manipulator, and even though he's dead, still manipulates her. But at least he does it the way that she likes, which is all we can ask for.
The consent spider approves.
She's like, hey, listen, if you're going to manipulate me, do it the right way. Hey, figure it out. But Dagwood takes these 3 books that she was holding on to like a lifeline and slams them down on the table in front of her. Assumedly, she is removed from the library because she is defiling property or behaving rudely. That would fall into those categories. As she is swiftly removed, but it seems that was a cover for what happens next. It was not rudeness that got her kicked out, it was the casting of spells. And that's where I'm going to start, is back in that moment. That moment as the door closes behind Dagwood. The gentle click of the door. At this point, Dagwood has stumbled outside, keeping herself upright, is offered a drink by Nyx, which she takes a large swig of, and then promptly begins to walk towards the back of the library, which is when Nyx, you hear the sound of an explosion from the inside. The people on the inside, most of you not in the most advantageous positions to exactly have gotten like a good view of what happened. The best person would be Nana. And Nana, based on your passive perception, sadly it was not enough to do something about it, but Dagwood had moved you backwards. And so right out of the way, just barely from being someone who would take damage from this. But after Dagwood left the click of the door, you turn back to the books, which she insisted you wait until she's gone to approach. And you look at them, and something catches your eye as you see what looks like a little red bead begin to, like, just as if it had always been rolling ever so slightly, rolls just into view behind the book, and then erupts into a huge fireball. This bead cracks and explodes in the space, destroying the books immediately, tearing the table to pieces and sending rocketing pieces of burning wood in every direction.
I think Nana, like, just goes, like, into a ball just for the sake of self-preservation from shrapnel. Just because she doesn't take immediate damage from the spell does not mean that outward thrown pieces will not hurt.
Yeah, things are thrown. You see that librarians pause for a moment as, you know, your brain catches up, and then seem to be jumping into action, pulling off, like, grabbing for, like, these pieces of fabric to try and smother these very small, like, it's not a blaze, but there are some flames around. What are people doing as this happens?
That's shocking.
So Fen will look around and look and see if anybody's injured. He wants to make that his priority, but if nobody's injured, then he's going to use his water skin to start, like, putting out some of the little incipient flames. Make sure that, like, you know, this house of knowledge doesn't go up in smoke. Like,
yeah.
We don't want that.
Yeah. No.
Fen's not a man of learning, but he can at least appreciate the value of this building that we're standing in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nana's
people
kind
are
of
welcome
right
to jump
there
in and
with him.
and try to help deal with the
Firefighting.
things.
It's what we do.
Yeah.
Remember the blankets? The wet blankets, guys?
Wet blankets.
I'm sure there's a lot of wet towels behind the counter. Maybe.
You're right.
There's a pile
stuff
of
they
wet
could-
towels in the corner.
Yeah!
We were ready for this.
I don't know. I
We've
feel
been
like
prepared all along.
I feel like this
Quick,
whole
somebody get those towels
library
from
is
where they've been
filled
mopping up
with
after
wet
Nyx.
blankets.
Oh, whack.
Oh, damn. That's
Whack.
the sass bard. That's the sass bard coming out.
You say
Rose's been
wow,
too
but
sad.
am I wrong?
No,
you're
100%
not,
correct.
and that's why we're mad.
I think Roshan.
Roshan gets kicked out of the library for cutting
Being
words or
rude?
whatever. Just
Oh
like
my god.
just had an
Last thing I ever
inappropriate
did.
thought that hurt somebody's feelings and just
Bye.
Roshan's first inkling is to cast a spell and start taking care of these flames, but he stops halfway through, and instead he is going to take off out the door after Dagwood.
Okay. All right. The rest of you currently working in tandem with these librarians, and it's
Yeah.
not that there's a large fire that is like
Sure.
imminent to destroying the library, because it is mostly of marble. It is just the fact that it is scattered shrapnel about the place, and it's like it could injure a book, and that's enough for everybody to just start scattering and trying to deal with it. One of the librarians kind of looks to you and sees you all helping and says, "Make sure not to cast anything, thank you," and continues to try and like smother a small fire on like a table leg.
There's
while
tons of towels from where we've been mopping up behind Nyx, right? They're wet.
Yeah.
They'll help.
all of you
Nana's just running a bunch of towels from behind the counter.
that's such a good idea.
They're already wet.
these nasty wet towels, which is technically sweat. We're not going to go too into detail on that.
It's water Genasi sweat, which is basically
Yeah,
spring
it's
water.
different.
I
It's
understand.
different.
Oh my goodness,
You
has
could
Nick
bottle
had
that and
like
sell it.
terrible anxiety this whole time and that's
Oh,
what this has
no.
been?
No, it's just she's not frozen.
Yeah.
She's just
But
wet.
like,
Perish
but
with
what if she's just
anxiety.
nervous? But during this time, this is all happening very quickly. Like
Yeah.
a handful of seconds have passed as all of you jump into action. Roshan gets up and runs out of the library. Nyx, you watch Roshan run out into the cool, sort of late afternoon air. The people inside just kind of watch for a minute like this chaos, and it's confusion. This doesn't seem to be normal. the day, not normal. Two people on purpose kicked out of the library, one of them causing damage. But just a moment has passed. Roshan, what are we doing?
I think Roshan gets outside the door of the library and doesn't even have to speak to Nyx to kind of get across
Gesture.
the where is Dagwood or and yeah, she may just know what's up and just a look is enough to send him running around the other side of the library. And I think like he's probably not wearing even his cloak or anything. You know, it's a nice, I assume a nice warm library.
Yeah. If it was also freezing cold,
We can
the
hope.
audacity.
It's all in the bag that I have.
Yeah. So Roshan runs out and follows a trail around the side of the building and hopes to catch up with Dagwood.
You run forward, sort of coasting around the edge of the library, and it's not something that like catches your eye per se, but you do see that those small intricate runes do follow around the side of the library as well as you run past them, following these footsteps, and you quickly catch up to Dagwood, who is not running, is still casually walking to the teleportation circle after exploding some books in a library. But you can see her at this point. She is now behind the library. You could get there to her easily.
I think Roshan approaches until she turns to look.
Yeah.
So I don't know how close he gets, but
Yeah. She probably stops, we'll say a solid 80 feet from the teleportation circle, because she can hear you. You're not stealthing. You're running full speed towards this person in the snow. And Dagwood sort of stops, and there's a moment, and then turns and looks in your direction.
And Roshan says, Dagwood, I don't know how to make things better, to fix things between us, and I don't expect you to tell me, but I wanted you to know that I'm trying.
She watches you. And you can see behind her. It's not something, once again, that you focus on. You can see Morden standing in what you can assume is the teleportation circle and is watching and seems anxious. Whether he knew what was going to happen or not, seems anxious as Dagwood stops and looks at you and exhales deeply, and there's the steam that rises. She also did not have time to throw on a jacket or gloves, so both of you stand there just in your casual attire in the middle of this snowscape. And she approaches and closes the distance, putting her a bit further from the teleportation circle, stepping so that she is within touching distance of you. And her face softens a bit. Sweet boy. And touches your cheek and kind of like touches your face and like really looks at you, like fully takes you in. Perhaps I was too harsh. I feel no ill will between us. I was trying to keep myself distant. I suppose to protect, which you can probably assume is not my greatest skill. But more importantly, to fix what I failed at. I'm trying. And kind of ends the statement there. And because I am trying, I am stuck in a bit of an unsavory kinship for now. Not with you. That would be a much better kinship, let me say. And she looks at your face for a moment, and then sort of looks back towards the library, sort of pulling herself out of the moment. I must go soon, or I will be apprehended, but she turns back to look at you and is going to continue. But meanwhile, during this minute that this is happening, one of the librarians inside looks to another librarian and says, "Summon it now," as she makes a beeline towards a small fire. And this other librarian stops mid speed walk and turns direction and begins to speed walk to the center of the library towards one of the tall pillars and goes and places her hand against it. And you watch that sort of swimming blue light stop and become harsh and jagged as it almost seems to bisect the pillar itself. Then again and again and again. And you watch as the pillar cracks and snaps to the side as part of it slips outwards on one side, and then the other, and another piece, and another piece. And you watch as this marble golem steps forth once a pillar, now a large construct that turns its focus towards the door and begins to walk out. One of the librarians turns to you all. Make sure not to cast anything. This is for your safety at this point. As you watch this large construct starting to make its way out the door, it's going. It does have to maneuver under the door, not incredibly well, but meanwhile, like, Dagwood has looked off towards the library and then looks off towards Morden and then leans in close to you, Roshan. The world has been unkind and unforgiving. It holds secrets just out of reach. And that has been my life for many years, and I hate that I am currently that separation between you and knowledge. That does not make me feel good. Some knowledge should die with its caster. What I plan to do should not be done again. Can you understand that? At least why I did what I did.
I think it's a really small nod, but Roshan understands fully why she did that.
And she looks past you. I need you to hold strong. And you see her eyes focus in on something, and you can hear the sound of heavy footsteps making their way through the snow as this thing has now rounded the corner. And Dagwood turns her focus fully into you. Look how far you have come. I cannot wait to see your potential. You understand this, that I crave to see what you are going to do in the future, and for your safety now we stay apart. Ave has swept many into his ambitions, and I need eyes on the outside to tell me when I am lost. Be my conscience. Be the world's voice, because I hear neither. And kind of gently touches the cheek and begins to step back, now feeling a bit more urgency, as step, 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 this thing fully focuses in. Don't cast anything or it'll focus on you. And Dagwood turns and begins to make a beeline for the teleportation circle.
I think just before she does, Roshan hears whatever is coming and just whispers, "Go."
Sort of steps back, and for a moment ponders. How can you not? How could you not? You could just see, just the tiny kind of smirk. And as she is walking, she is going to throw a spell in its direction. Just to see what it does. She is going to do a witch bolt. As it's sort of like this situation is happening. She is going like this, and this thing is going much quicker than her. But she's taking the time to attack it just once. Okay. You can hear a sound, sort of like the crack of a whip. And above this automaton, this construct, not automaton, It is as if lightning cracks, but it is a serpent that is formed out of the energy that strikes down lightning fast, as if to bite into the side of it. And it looks incredibly painful if it were, you realize now, in this case, anything else. As this slams into it, it does not break stride. It continues forward at full speed. And Dagwood, I'm going to have them roll for initiative to see who gets where first. Okay. All right. Dagwood shoots one more look back at you, Roshan, and then lifts her dress slightly and goes into a full sprint. Goes into a full sprint as this thing begins to close the distance after her. And she steps into the teleportation circle. And Morden places his hand upon the ground, eyes wide with terror, as now you have looked back at Morden, who is horrified, slams his hand down onto this this sigil, and they are pulled from the space just as this thing bulldozes into the area. And you can see, it almost looks like where the sun is currently hitting it, it's almost as if it's emitting its own light from its face, something that encompasses the space. But there is no effect as it arrives and has nothing to capture. And you can see in its hand sort of a circular object. Looks like a collar. And the collar sinks back into the arm. And feeling no emotion because it is a bunch of rock, it stares for a moment and then begins to stomp its way back to the library. No quarry to catch. What are we doing outside, team?
Hiding behind a tree.
All right.
What's going on over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roshan, there's this huge construct next to you that just stops and is like, oh well, next time.
I think Roshan looks at the teleportation circle for a good 15-20 seconds and then starts to shiver, and I think he'd like to take a look at the teleportation circle, you know, just in case. He's probably never going to be able to cast that, but we'll see. And then he's going to turn around, shivering and blotchy, and head back inside.
Okay, so are you drawing out the details of this teleportation circle, or are you?
Probably not this minute, no.
Okay. You take note of it.
It's too cold. Yeah.
Also, you're welcome to roll Arcana for me, as you've gotten to watch this this nightmare monster stand right next to you, working its magics.
I mean, that's an 11, but it wasn't nat 1, so...
Roshan, who the fuck gives a shit about this big-ass robot right now?
Stupid golem scaring away at my not friends. Rude.
I'm trying to talk with my not friend here, and you're really fucking it up for me. Not taking in really any of the attributes of this thing as it stomps back to the library. And the rest of you, this has all happened incredibly fast. A minute tops. Like, it is a fast moment. And the creature returns back to where you all are as you finish putting out these fires. And you can see the librarians all turn to look at it at once. And then sigh. And then as it comes back with no quarry. And it goes back to become a pillar again as it slowly begins to crack back into place. Yes, Nana.
I think Nana's first instinct when she sees the golem walk in without Dagwood in hand is to kind of like really sort of look it over for a second and just make sure there isn't like sign of a struggle and no quarry remaining, as it were, to be advertising friendly.
Yeah, did her
you
magic have any effect on it?
Yeah, go ahead and roll perception for me real quick, Nana.
Oh, come on, man. Nah, dude. She's back in full form. Nat 1. Not a fucking clue. Not
Two in a
paying
row.
I
attention.
mean,
Putting out fires.
Who's next?
Nat once in a row. No, I mean, anybody who looks at this thing can see that there is a dark char across like its chest and shoulder. It does not seem impeded anyway. There are no cracks that have formed. Roshan, you got to see how aggressive the strike was. This thing seems almost unbothered.
And Dagwood just did it for science.
Yeah, it's for us. She did it for us. But he is back inside. I guess it's a man construct now.
I guess.
Sure. Has a little name tag. His name is Derek. He's just doing his job. But Roshan,
Derek. But also, I'm very afraid of him.
most constructs will get the name Derek. Can't.
Oh,
I don't know what to tell you. It's all Derek. But Roshan, I'd like to know what. Are you heading back inside?
I think that depends on if he sees Nyx outside with the stuff.
You'll see her. She only hid from the thing.
Then he wouldn't head back inside. I think he would just start grabbing some winter clothes from the bag.
Can
And
join me by my fire. I've got the alcohol here, and there's a giant pile of the jewelry from the bag on the ground too, because she's going through it.
Of course.
I'm going. I'm gonna take some of this, and then just takes a long swig of the alcohol, the whatever it is, ale or.
I think I don't know. I've been drinking it all day. You can have whatever you want.
Ooh. All day, huh?
As soon as I was sent outside.
All right. You guys just vibing or anything else outside?
I think just vibing.
Fine for the moment. Showing him random pieces of jewelry. Yeah.
Does
Oh, that was
Roshan
cute.
talk at all about what went down with Nyx, or it's just like, nah?
I think he's still processing, so not ready to
Fair.
discuss it openly yet.
Cool.
All right. Meanwhile, inside, all fires have been diminished. You don't know what happened outside, but this thing came back, no Dagwood, and looks like it was in at least vaguely an altercation. And then goes back to being a pillar.
Fascinating one.
Yeah, and now is a
Well.
pillar again. What's inside team doing?
I really hope Dagwood's not dead. I would feel so awful if she were dead.
It's not spattered in blood or anything like that.
True.
Do you think is its purpose murder?
I don't think. The librarian said, like,
Surely it would
for
have.
it to get her,
captured
to bring her back, right?
Yeah.
Is that
I mean-
what we kind of got the vibe for?
A librarian who, cause they're all out right now in force.
Yeah. Right.
One of them glances over. We do our best here not to resort to violence. That is a mage catcher.
Oh. How does it work?
Then give me persuasion.
Oh, buddy. These are not helpful librarians, remember, my dude?
Bro, check this out.
Bro?
That's a nat 1.
Hell yes! Hell
What does that
yes!
mean? What does that
three.
mean?
I don't know. I think it means, Katie, I want a
either.
refund.
I'm sorry.
Oh shit!
They roll well enough.
It sounds like I need to bring somebody big and bad into this library, just to
So
see
that's
what
an at
happens.
one for an actual one, is what that is.
Bosh enters the
Perfect.
library.
You'll love to see it. She looks at you. It is specifically made to handle the force that a mage can bring and make it so that they cannot bring that and they are subdued. And kind of looks over your group again and kind of if you could see her eyes, you'd assume they're narrowing.
She saw
And
us
then-
putting out fires. We didn't cast anything.
And she, I mean, we don't know if you cast something.
I mean,
Punched
yeah,
by
we
this
sure
huge
would.
pillar.
We'd be gone.
Just the pillar.
But just this pillar just throws hands. But yeah, she turns and walks away after giving what's the mage catcher? It's a mage catcher answer, and then walking off.
Derek. We saw his name
just-
tag. Somebody did.
yeah.
What did, but somebody saw it.
Somebody did. Who?
believe
Unclear,
that. Probably Keld. I feel like Keld would be the one to look for the name tag.
What
the
do I
body's
call
so big.
you?
He's looking for it, but that
Pardon?
10 passive perception is just not cutting it. He wanted to find it, but he couldn't.
Oh, buddy.
Inside
Guys,
team.
his name's Darren.
I think his name's Darren. Roshan has not returned inside either.
He's probably dead.
What are you guys doing? He's probably also dead.
Nana's gonna go outside and check on Roshan.
Honestly.
And, I mean, like, and just kind of figure out what happened, generally.
Yeah, you come outside. Roshan and Nyx are currently drinking by a fire.
Oh. Well, I have to assume that Dagwood didn't suffer any mortal harm, considering.
Yeah, she
Yes.
didn't suffer very long. I'm just kidding. She
Oh, God.
escaped.
Oh! Ye gods, Roshan, come on. It's been a lot today, okay? Give me some of that beer, all right? I'm not going back in again for a while.
Yeah, he lifted up a
Oh,
glass, a
For
jar,
her. Oh,
whatever,
yeah,
immediately
all
as she
right,
came out.
Rad, excellent. Yep, okay. Nana's taking
freaking
up
jars.
a sit.
Yeah.
We taking up a sit. It's
Hipster
been a lot
jars,
today.
let's go.
Woo! Where Nana's at.
Is anyone doing research? Anybody
Kel?
researching?
Gotta
Kel?
Nana's
say.
taking a
I
break
s-
for a while.
I assume they would have come and fetched us if they actually needed anything. Is there anything I can
You
help
know
you with?
Nana would have come busting in there if there was trouble.
Unless she's also dead, but Nana's currently
Oh,
outside having a
God!
drink,
Oh no.
so we'll never know. But yeah.
Yeah, Fenn's
Feld
like
and
rolling
Hannah
up the
together.
maps they've made and like all the sketches and stuff like that. But
We got it all done, didn't we?
Yeah.
All right.
Keld, anything I can help you with? I know things about plants, not as well as your sister, but anything?
Certain plants.
I wasn't really looking into plants, but
I'm just saying that's one of the things I know about. I might be able to be helpful with, but whatever I can do, even if you just want help finding a book while you read another, it's up to you.
what were you looking into?
I was trying to find maps about the Forest of Eden, or the Orchard of Eden, and perhaps the Wise One's Parapet. That we've gotten some progress. That got me on thinking about. They talk about the Orchard of Eden progressing. And I was trying to figure out at what rate it was doing so, but it sounds like recently it's been much quicker, but it's not documented here anywhere. It's just word of mouth from the way corruption seems to be progressing
Just seems to be getting faster.
in other regards. Well, yeah, but no documentation of it here. I think we've gotten all we can with what Nana and I have come up with. Made some sketches here. I'm no Gorbjorn, but I think the map should be somewhat helpful, I hope. What were you looking into?
I was trying to find anything I could about Nyx and her.
What
Wherever
about
she
her? She's
came
your
from.
sister. You should know everything there is to know about her.
Well, I know everything
Wouldn't
she
that be nice?
remembers, but there's stuff before we found
Oh,
her.
there's stuff.
I don't know what happened.
I wasn't aware there was stuff.
There's more stuff.
It's just more stuff.
Anything you think I could help with? I speak and read Elven and Sylvan, so if there are texts in those languages that, and Giant as well, you're aware of that. If there are texts in those languages that help in any way, I'd be glad to translate for you or anything. Anything in particular you were looking for about her or her origin? Do they have a biography on her here somewhere?
How
That
fun.
would be very helpful. No. I honestly don't know if I could find anything else useful here.
Oh. I dread to think of where we might find anything helpful if it's not here. That's quite a bit of information.
Yeah, probably somewhere we don't want to go, but
Oh,
I feel
well,
like there's some places we need to go that we don't want to go.
I think we've already been to plenty of places we don't want to go, and we've already been there and back again, so can't be that bad, right?
Fair, I guess. Can't be worse, right?
No. You know what? With you and Nyx around, I've got confidence that we can go about it where we need to. Just the speed at which your sister got us here is impressive in itself.
That was wild.
I have to say, I agree. We were traveling at a speed I don't even think I've seen a bird fly that fast.
Well, can't say that I have. unless it became the wind or something.
Faster than probably most winds I've seen, honestly.
Yeah.
Wait, wait. Fen can see the wind?
If I can see debris blown in the wind. Hey,
Very
you ever seen a tornado, Nana?
That's a good fucking question.
Nana
Julia, do we have
dwells.
tornadoes?
Tornadoes.
Yeah, probably
I'm
not
sure,
in Scandinavia.
I'm sure there's been like at least a solid one of those like little
A
tiny ones where it's like,
cyclone
holy
at some
shit,
point.
look at it
Wow.
go.
Wow.
Caught a plastic
Sometimes
bag
the
up in it,
wind
and you're like,
goes
oh shit, oh fuck.
How old is that? Is that from the last era? Wow.
It belongs to the wind. That's none of my business. That's the wind's purse. None of my business.
Wind's purse.
So, inside team, is there anything
Yes.
else you wanted to research? You're not exactly the best of the researchers, but that doesn't mean you can't research. But you are currently the only two people in here. So, would you like to keep
So, yeah,
researching, or?
Yeah, so Fen saw at one point that Keld was able to teleport himself over a short distance. And it seemed very impressive. And he was hoping that Keld could help him maybe start to... He wants to understand how he did that. And if there are books that can aid in that, and with Keld's knowledge stacked on top of it, like...
Maybe we can
maybe
find a
that's
book on
something
it.
That, yeah. Like
You all are welcome
teleportation
to look
magic.
up a book on Misty Step. Whatever you guys are vibing. You guys are like, well, all right. Nobody told us to come outside. One of you is welcome to roll investigation. I'm assuming with advantage.
Yeah, I'll roll investigation with advantage. I got a 10. That's a 5 on the highest dice, and a nat 1 on the other die.
Well, I guess that's our sign.
Uh,
I can't-
yeah.
We're not looking in the right section.
You guys begin to look. The thing is, Keld,
Just
it's
exploding, you
hard.
just think about it, and then
Yeah, it's like Keld's trying to find a book on something he does. It's seemingly innately. He's like,
yeah.
I just kind of do it. I'm sure maybe a book can put that into words. You guys begin your researching. About guys, outside team. About 30 minutes have passed. Do you guys just plan to vibe until they come back outside, or what are y'all doing?
I'll pull out my sickle and so Roshan, Dagwood said you could tell me if this was cursed. It belonged to a cult.
I think Roshan, his first inkling is to reach for it until you say the word cursed, and he reaches his hand back and he says, "Yeah, just you pull out Ave's folio and lay it open and say, just set it here, and then we'll start casting Identify."
Yeah, identifies touch, right?
It is touch,
Uh-huh.
but it's
I'm just
touching
checking.
the journal.
No, you gotta touch. If you would like to cast identify, you must touch the sickle.
Can you put on gloves?
You must
have a-
touch
Do-
the sickle.
Roshan's
You can have on gloves. You just can't be holding a stick. Like though, that's
Yeah.
the separation. You can't bonk it with a
okay.
stick.
Roshan's always wearing gloves, so
I hope
yeah,
that's
he'll-
gonna be enough. Be careful, okay?
We could
Wait,
have the
I-
same
wait a minute.
curse.
We're
I'm
outside
sure it'll
right
be
now.
fine.
We could
Hold on,
share
no,
the
wait.
curse.
Before you do.
Share it.
Ideally, we want fewer curses rather than more going around in the group. I don't.
This is very true.
it could
I don't
just
wanna
be one
disparage your
curse
position.
spread thinner. I don't know.
Yeah. What if
What
it
if-
makes it better?
What
I
if
did
I
read a
give you
whole
protection
treatise
from
on
evil and
curses.
good?
Yeah,
Maybe.
sure. That'll.
I don't know if
that'll-
that covers curses, but like maybe it'll help.
I mean,
I don't know. It's there.
Hey, what if everybody touches this sickle? I'm just.
No.
What if everybody just touches this sickle?
No.
I'm just putting it out there. What if we all touch it?
Not vibing with everybody touching all at the same time. Personally, guys.
Guys, hold hands to see if
but-
it's like an electrical current,
it could
and
be.
one person touches the sickle,
The
Okay.
current
and
of
see if the
curse.
curse gets everyone.
I mean,
I'll try.
I mean, we've touched Nyx before while she's been holding it. I'm sure. So.
yeah,
It's true.
It's
Pretty
true.
sure Keld's
I
probably
said
If
it
you're
was-
touched it,
scared, just put it in the ring and I'll do it. I've already touched it.
Sure.
That may be the
I'll do it
safest
that.
thing to do. Having been previously twice now afflicted with an endemic curse that was, imminently threatening my life, I would rather Roshan not have to deal with that, and I want you to not have to deal with it anymore either. Nyx, what is it doing to you?
I don't know. Dagwood said not to touch ancient things, and I already did. So, I just
And you're
wanna
worried
know.
you have a curse, right?
Maybe from it. I don't know if I have a curse from it.
how
That's
do you
why I
know?
have to check.
Well, what's happening to you that?
That's no. Rosha, put it in the ring.
Yeah.
Let me
Turns
try.
slightly to the side.
But I,
Do it.
Roshan will spend a minute casting the spell by writing some runes on the paper while also wearing the ring, and when he's finished the spell, I think all of the words on the page, all of the runes and magic circles disappear, and the ring sucks him up magically, and then he gives you back the ring.
Okay. Then I'll
neat.
do it. And then she'll
Yeah.
cast. Touch the sickle and cast.
What does identify like for Nyx? What's her version of it?
Ooh.
So I think it would come across not as runes, but in druidic writing instead.
Mm-hmm.
So, just be different symbols like that instead of that.
Yeah. As you are doing this, the book is sitting next to you. But something to the other side of you catches your attention as just these little green motes that kind of drift off of you and place themselves in the snow. Begin to just etch in druidic language. Druidic, there we go. Druidic language. And you're like, okay. So you you watch that. You learn about what the sickle is currently doing for you, the abilities that you already know about. Doesn't say anything about a curse.
No curse. It's fine.
Good.
She was worried for nothing.
What was she worried about?
I don't know. She said, "Don't touch the thing in the parapet because it might be cursed."
Oh, well, that's a good point. Where did you find the sickle again?
It was in a cave in a temple, like behind a secret wall. And there was these.
That
Dagwood
does sound
said-
really cursed.
Dagwood said that they're the pursuers cult.
Oh.
It was a bad place, but I don't know.
Pursuer?
It's just, that's
Is
nice.
is that name familiar at all? Just like off the cuff? Is it casual knowledge?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I've read just a little about them. I think Ave got something official and chiefly at some point, and I mean, he left it open on his desk and I read it. Yeah, they're kind of weird. They're very good, but also very bad at the same time, if they can be. Weird.
Sounds about like what she said.
I think they disbanded when I was very little.
They're not disbanded. They're now two cults. That's what Dagwood said. There's the one that's for the sun, and there's the one for the moon now.
That makes sense.
Good.
Yeah.
Their leader might still be alive. He'd be old by now, but hope he doesn't want his sickle back.
Well, he probably has the sun one. There were two, and there was only the one when we went in.
So he
Well-
probably had the other.
That's what I would guess.
Huh.
If he has that one, maybe that means he's a good guy now. Chasing the sun. Is chasing the sun the good side of the cult, Jillian, or is that the bad side of the cult?
I gotta follow
Are
your
they
heart
both
on that one,
bad?
champ.
I don't.
Maybe that means he turned over a new leaf and is pursuing good as his
I
passion.
don't know. If there was one side that was bad, I would assume it's that one because this sickle heals people better.
Oh. Well, maybe he's bad
What?
then.
But like, it looks really aggressive for a healing item.
What are
I
you
don't-
talking about? It's beautiful.
I
It's
don't
probably just
disagree, it's
the
gorgeous.
poison
It's
charm
just
on
like-
the end.
Yeah, that's just
it's
what
that-
Ember
that
gave me.
look-
I could take that off.
Oh well, I mean, maybe
I mean, sickle is the traditional implement of an herbalist, someone who's into healing, so
Okay, well, all right. No, that's true.
so maybe the other one just got lost. Let's
Maybe, maybe a troll had it.
maybe
Perhaps.
a troll. Do you know some trolls?
They lived in the cave,
Oh,
Oh, you met some.
killed some.
Oh,
Met.
well, cheers
We've,
to that.
we've done that with some giants. We weren't proud, but you know, there you go.
I don't know. I think Keld and I are pretty proud. We helped a lot of people by doing this.
That's
Well, good.
It seems like a good choice to me.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you were able to help. Nix, I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to pry. Roshan knows this, and like most, well, I say most of the party knows this, but you know, half the party's not here anymore, so I don't always remember who is up to date on what. But I just wanted to let you know I understand where you're coming from with wanting to figure out what's going on with something that's not right with your body or whatever else. I had before the werewolf, or I'm blanking on the name. Gamalt Grot? Is that
Yeah.
right?
I believe so.
Before Gamalt Grot, there was this dreadful mess with these fucking awful worms in my heart, and that was a very bad time. I think I puked blood in front of some children after trying to participate in the foot race. It wasn't great. I was scared. I didn't know what was happening, and I wanted to find answers and to make it stop so that I could do what I want, which is to protect my friends. And so I want you to know I want to help. Whatever you're going through, I want to help.
I appreciate that. But maybe another time.
Oh.
I have to talk to Keld first about all of that. Or
Okay.
anyone else.
Of course. He is your brother, and I'm just saying
Plus, you look fine. You've had 2 curses and you're fine.
well, only with some rather weighty intervention. We had
You
to...
said there was the lady, but you don't know where she is anymore. You told us while we were on the cart.
Right. It's a long shot. We might be able to see whether or not we could get in contact with Saga again, perhaps, or maybe see whether or not Nero still answers to that name. I don't know. Not sure if sending works if someone is someone else. I don't know.
I can try. I don't have a way to do that. But you can try.
What do you
Tell
think,
me,
Roshan?
tell me, this jewelry here, does any of it look like the right color gold chain to match the outfit? Because I'm thinking, Roshan, you could help me do this. I think I need to get a lip piercing, and we're going to connect it up to my ear, and I'm going to wear that.
Oh, that would be striking. Ooh.
We can do it now.
Sure, let's do it.
You've pierced lips before.
It can't be that hard.
No,
I
it can't be
I have fire.
different than ears. Rose and I pierced each other's ears all the time.
See, it's great.
There was the one time, though, that your ear swelled up to the size of a turnip because she'd not cleaned the needle first.
Roshan, what would you like to roll to attempt to pierce someone's lip?
We have fire and ice magic.
you go.
My eyes first laid on animal handling.
You guys haven't finished your research.
Okay.
You guys said you were researching. Sorry.
But I think medicine or sleight of hand.
Which one would you prefer? I'm actually leaning medicine, to be honest. I think
Yeah.
I'm leaning medicine on that.
Roshan would do medicine, and I'm gonna roll wisdom to see if he gets his luck stone first. He doesn't.
Okay.
and will. There's probably some sharp, like brooch pins, and would use that to pierce her lip, and then insert a nice gold ring. And I'll roll a +4 medicine check, and that's a 6.
Great, perfect, 10 out of 10. I really need to put an enemy on this map right now, is how I personally feel. I really gotta put a bad guy in this library right now. Now's my chance.
What did we do wrong to the dice gods? What the hell are they doing to us
I hate
today?
it. Do you want?
Do you want me to do it? I can do it myself.
No, Roshan's, don't you worry,
I'm doing
Roshan's
it.
doing
It's
it.
fine.
Y'all don't know anything's wrong.
Just taking his time.
Yeah. Thing is, all right, Nyx, you take 2 points of piercing damage.
Damn.
As you know, a needle is stabbed through your lip. It's in a fine place. And I hate that I get to take this from personal experience. But it's as if you are a bunch of high school girls in a bathroom with a push pin, trying to jab it through the other one's lip, and you're just sort of watching the point continue to push at the other side of the lip, but it won't break through. I was just a spectator, but you know.
I was about to ask where you got your source for this, Jillian.
I just watched it happen.
Fascinating.
I just was vibing, and being like, neat. But cool. Do I need new friends? The answer was yeah. But anywho, this isn't about me. This is about Roshan unable to push this needle through the second half of the lip. And, Nyx, you're gonna just go ahead and take... Over the span of this, you're going to take 4 more points of piercing damage. As it is just, it's almost more emotional damage at this point, as it is just jabbed. He's like, well, if I change the angle, new jab. But eventually,
Not as trying hard not to put in. Not as
So
trying
much
hard not to
blood.
say anything.
eventually,
That's like enough damage to kill a farmer.
yeah, that farmer would be dead as shit right now.
Fuck.
I'm fine. I'm at 93 out of 99
Yeah.
hit points.
Nyx is
This is
no fun.
nothing.
If Nyx was a farmer, she'd be dead, but she isn't, and that's what's important.
She's fine.
It takes a hot minute. Roshan, your hands are cold. It's freezing outside.
Yeah.
But eventually you're able to, and then you are able to pop the rest of this brooch needle through. And then you come to the conclusion of, oh shit, do we have like a piercing to put in here? And you guys have like a loop of a chain, and the loop of the chain is thicker than the needle you used. So now you're in a situation where you have to finagle a slightly thicker piercing through this hole, and that's where the rest of that damage comes from, is you having to push this shit through. And but hey, your lip is swollen, but you have a gold hoop in there at the moment.
Nice.
Roshan will like look at the statue of Snotra and kind of feel awkward, and then prestidigitate the blood away, and then heal.
Okay.
So kind.
It's so tempting to just pop that bitch out with a heal, but I won't. Even though my
That's
first
fair.
terrible instincts were to just pop it out.
Just
Oh,
like
I
if you stuck a
shan't.
dagger in a guy and then you healed him and it popped
Yeah,
out.
the dagger
same
wouldn't
thing with
stay.
The ring.
But,
No.
you know,
It's a ring.
if somebody came up to you and like was holding it there, it probably heal with it there. So to tell you. So yeah, you feel better.
Well.
You're healed a bit. The swelling goes down. During this time, a little over an hour has passed. It's not that took that long, but over the time of you guys hanging out, an hour has passed, and Nyx is busy. Keld and Fen are like, looking at books like, oh, Misty Step. Oh, like, well, we can't teleport. We know that. We can't do big teleport or dimension door. Can't do that either. But Misty Step, you learn, is a pretty low level ability. It's not incredibly hard to learn if you have the inclination for it. Usually falling into the category of sorcerer, warlock, and wizard, but that does not mean some people don't have it innately or can acquire it through work. So it's really a toss up of a spell where it's like these people come by it naturally, but somebody else could probably figure it out if they were interested and had
gotta put
enough
the work in.
inclination. So yeah, you guys find that out after about a little over an hour of going through books, and you're like, neat.
Well, we don't have the player's handbook in the library, Jillian.
That'd be rad, wouldn't it? The fuck is this? This is meta shit.
Wow.
Holy shit. So inside team, is there anything else you guys wanted to research? You guys found out about Misty Step and that maybe you could do it if you dream big.
Killed, anything else? Should we check on the party? Or
Yeah, I can't think of
I just
anything
feel my
right now.
eyes have glazed over. I feel incredibly unproductive, and like this whole day has not been fruitful. That's where I'm at in my heart.
Getting a bit of a headache myself. Let's get some fresh air.
All right, we can use the alchemy jug. I'll get you some ale.
All of you two kind of pack up and make your way back outside, where the group is maybe getting a little sloshed, some much more sloshed than the others. And Nyx has a shiny piece of gold affixed to her lip. And as the team is reunited, that is where we are going to take our 10-minute break. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. You go get a snack and a drink, and we'll see what's next, whether it is more research or if we're heading to Jarlsbecker or the parapet. So we'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
Thank you, 10.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 127. We have just taken. Oh no. We had a break. We took us a break.
Took us a break.
That was about
I love that.
10 minutes long-ish-esque, and everything's fine and working well. The party got to have a little fun in the library, and by fun I mean there was an explosion, and there was a big construct that was gonna catch Dagwood, but Dagwood got away at the end after telling Roshan, okay, maybe I was like a little aggressive. But hey, you gotta focus because there's things I can't focus on. And it's like, okay, bye, and outruns by a very small margin this creature intent on catching her. But currently the party has reconvened outside. Nyx has a nice new piece of casual jewelry. There's no extra trauma visible, so it seems like it was a smooth experience for anybody who didn't witness it. And the party is currently, once again, together. What's the plan?
Well, so long as we're all gathered around and we've got some alcohol, we may as well at least compare notes about what we've found out. At minimum about the parapet, and I suppose anything else we want to collate.
I thought we did that yesterday, about the parapet anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
about
And
the
the
parapet.
balding.
I mean, I was wondering if anything else had been learned in addition. I mean, we do have the maps now. Fen and I did draw up a few maps today.
That's
Perfect.
Fen, it's hard to hear you, Fen. Uh-oh.
Fenn's gonna have to be stoic for a moment. 'cause,
Roshan, stop casting silence on Fen when he's answering me, please.
Well, Roshan says I was able to find a few resources on our little ghost problem back home.
Oh, yeah?
It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination,
That seemed obvious.
but things are doable.
Huh?
Yeah. I mean, best option right now is to put them in a glyph that surrounds the entire town so they don't know that we're doing it, but I don't know that we could. Anyway, that's a lot. But I'm sure there's something else we could do.
Yeah, if nothing else, we've got some options that we can chew on, and maybe we can look for something else if we think there's any hope of finding more complete guidance than that. But it sounded rather thorough.
Yeah, I've got plenty of notes. Roshan pulls out dreaded loose sheet paper since he didn't take Ave's magical book into the library.
Yeah.
I don't know where the lines lie here. I
Oh.
don't want to be the third one kicked out today.
Rather not, definitely.
It's not that bad. It's pretty nice out here.
I don't disagree, but it's not bad in there when it's not on fire.
I know that was terrible. That whole place. Never again. Even if I could, never again.
Oh.
I think I'm done for now too.
Well, I don't want to go back in tonight.
I don't know that spending much more time here is going to help us.
At least not right now, right? I mean, we've got...
Not until we find something we need to research. But I believe someone was looking into these drums and couldn't find much. So perhaps until we know what we're looking for there, or what we're looking at, perhaps, I don't think spending more time here is in our best interest. Perhaps we still need dates.
Of course.
It's been a pretty
I'm
awful day, and I
I'm
don't
the
want
only
to.
one that can get in this party.
As of right now, that's true. Officially speaking, we have every intent, but we need to actually make it happen. So
I think we need to head back to Jarlsbecker.
I think we've gotten as much as we can get out of a very generous. How long's it been? Day and a half that we've been able to be here. We've gotten a fair bit. You don't have to well, you won't be able to come in, should we ever need to come back, Nix. But I would guess, heck, if you wanted to just send us on ahead, and I wouldn't be shocked if you had some way to just bloop us right back if you wanted us. So.
Yeah, are there
Did
some
you
big
find that
trees in the area?
teleportation circle?
That is one thing I wanted to do before we left. I had a quick glance, but I want to make a diagram of it, so I don't know. It's beyond my abilities now, but
Go draw it really
perhaps
quick.
one day.
We'll be here.
Would that allow us
Okay.
maybe to use that
That
as a
would be-
jumping point? We could just come here by way of the teleportation circle and then just leave?
If we had someone like Morden who was capable of that, but I wouldn't know where to start with that.
Well,
But
if you
Roshan
want, I
will,
can
run around back and make a diagram.
go right
Okay.
ahead.
Roshan, you jog. Okay, bye. You jog.
Does
He's
he
here and he's
maybe want,
gone.
like, oh no!
And
I
he's
don't know if he
back.
wants to take the revealing lantern with him.
I mean, these runes are shown proudly on this thing.
Okay.
They are not. They are not
All right.
hidden.
Fair enough.
Teleportation circles, a lot of the time, unless you're being very, very sneaky about it, are like, here I am on the floor, observe me. Which,
I see.
Roshan, you're able to do. Go ahead and roll Arcana for me, just to see how this kind of works for you. You're
Who's ready
going
for
to.
another nat 1?
I
Come
would
on,
love to
dude.
see it.
Even without the luck stone, that's a 21.
Okay.
Oh!
Um,
We broke
doesn't
the
take you
curse.
long. You're able to, you think, get a good approximation of what this teleportation circle looks like. If you had to ever draw it on the ground in chalk, you feel like you could. Not that that's anything you've ever done before, but you're like, if I was capable, I could probably do that.
Yeah, maybe I'll look into it sometime again at the library.
And the party reconvenes once again. Roshan with now this drawing in the journal. How are we getting home, boys?
Were there any big trees?
I
in the
don't
area?
know if I can be heard now.
You can,
Yes.
yes. Huzzah!
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I have no input. I just was checking the audio.
I'm just,
There was also an adorable cat pounce behind Greg, and I wanted to make a small applause of that.
Yeah.
This is your little joy for the day.
I
Cultist.
missed it. I have no little joy today.
Watch it back on the VOD. Watch it back on the VOD. You can have it anytime you want. That's what the YouTube channel's for, right?
Over on youtube.com/the Dice Cut. You can watch it too. How you guys getting back to Jarlsbecker?
Yeah.
Weren't there plenty of trees by the road when we landed here?
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
go to one of those, and I'll open up a portal, and we'll go back.
I want to see this.
Yeah, this sounds
I'm
rad.
very excited to see how this works from the inside.
All right.
Inside or
Gather
outside?
up all my jewelry and put it back in the bag.
I mean,
Start
actually,
walking.
going through. I don't think I've never done anything like that.
It's,
Nix,
it's just
would
like
you-
a door.
Yeah, Nix, walk me through what this looks like.
You know, it's probably real sloppy this time around because she's been drinking. And she's gonna go up to a larger tree and set her hand on it, and it literally looks like a door starts to glow from it, and the portal just opens up, and you can see Jarlsbecker through it.
That's a door.
And we have to walk through really fast, so come on.
Oh, okay. Oh, do we have everything? I sure hope so.
I would have made sure we had all our stuff up. It's
Thank you.
So all of you jog through.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
It,
pulling
Have we? Did we?
it closes within 6 seconds. You really don't have the ability to just stand there and talk or look at things. You have 6 seconds. So all of you jog through, and it
A little warning next time, please.
closes behind you as if there were never a door there to begin with, and you are currently at one of the would you have picked one of the decorative trees that's inside the walls or an outside tree?
Inside
Okay.
the town.
Yeah. You guys appear in a vaguely public spot. People take notice that this happens, but nobody says anything. But just a bunch of people pop out of a tree.
Hey,
You're back-
Julian,
you're all
I,
set here.
Super casual.
I
Hello,
cringe
citizens.
to ask, how do we feel after our first foray with teleportation? Like,
Oh, you guys,
Well,
you know
tree
what?
striding,
Hey,
I guess.
you guys feel
Oh.
fine.
That's
oh,
nice.
thank goodness
It's
I
a
didn't
white
trust the
God.
dice to make us feel fine.
Oh,
Yeah, no, you guys feel fine.
oh,
I told
that's
it's just
blessed
like a
is-
It's
door.
literally like walking through a
Yeah.
door.
no, it's
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 better
as if
than-
somebody, than the wind. It's as if somebody took a page from a book and bent it and pressed it together for these two spaces in time to touch, and you guys
Oh.
just casually step through.
that's
So?
incredible.
Do like a little
You're back in town.
I did it. See?
I love it, Nix. I love it. It's wonderful.
It worked.
And now we don't have to use the wind to get there again because I can just go back to that tree.
Thank goodness.
That's
Thank you, Nix.
amazing. That's
Oh, that's the best news.
of course you're not
If
allowed
we
back
need
in
to
there,
use
but
it, no.
Exactly. But I can just open it and you go.
how do we get back then?
I open it again on this side and you come
No.
back.
Oh, and it reopens
How do
on
you-
that side.
Oh,
You
all right,
send
it
a
works
mes-
well.
You send a message to my brain and then
Okay.
I open it.
Wow. Oh,
that's
It's real easy. I don't know why
That's-
you didn't think of it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
because
uh,
we don't have the sort of magic powers that you do.
yes, your
Which is why we
magic
didn't
is
think of it.
incredible. Fen and I have been kicking around the forest for a very long time. A very long time.
Me too. I
But-
live there.
I understand, but
Nix.
I'm just saying, like, we don't have anything on your
There is a
level
lot of looking at you
mastery.
guys and murmuring. By the way, I just want this to be apparent.
Maybe we should move. Maybe we should move. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Walk in
think
the
we
direction
should.
of
Get
an
going.
in. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can walk and talk.
Did
Cha-cha-cha.
was any of the murmuring like, "Good, hey, sexy people just came through that tree. Maybe I want to take them on a date to this big old party."
I'm not
next
even
week.
gonna make you roll insight. The answer is no to that.
These are all
Look at
snooty
this
ass
group
rich
of
ass.
sexy, slightly drunk people. Wow. I
This
wanna
is
take
just
them
like
to
a
party.
casual spot in town. This isn't like right in front of a fancy inn, which you guys haven't been to yet. But it's just
We
you guys
shouldn't
popped
go
out of a
there while we're
tree
drunk.
and kind of started arguing loudly in like a small square. And people are like, okay. Like, it is strange to observe.
Let's-
But you guys start
We
walking?
should get
Where are we
on.
going?
We should get some rest, honestly, but
should we?
Maybe we should regroup at our rooms and
Yeah,
Go
let's
back to the inn.
let's go to the crappy inn tonight. I don't feel like
I
I,
don't
can be
feel
hot
up for
tonight.
dealing with rich assholes tonight. I'm not there for it. Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe Russ is there, and Russ is nice.
You were supposed to
Yeah.
tell him when we got back.
Oh, right.
Ross is very
Oh.
nice. We should tell him that we're back.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
do-
let's
can
head
you?
there and tell him.
I'll
Fair
cast a
enough.
spell when I'm
why'd
dead.
you have to say it like that?
I'll cast Sending in Hell. Uh,
No magic in this town.
you all make your way through the streets back to the inn, the Hard Fiddle, which has a sign of very most certainly a drawing of a fiddle upon it. And it is the same loud hustle and bustle that it was last time because, as Russ told you, there's like a lot of mercenaries hired to escort these rich people here. And they have nothing else to do for over a week, so they're gonna stay here and get shitty for for
Blow off
11
steam,
days.
You know? Why
Um,
not? It's on the
So,
boss's
yeah.
payroll.
You guys are back at the hard fiddle. You go inside. It is harder to see Russ and his group in this situation compared to when you
Right.
were in Garterholm and it was just like farmers, trained mercenaries. It's more kind of
Right.
like trained mercenaries. The trained mercenaries you know. So you can see Russ and his group at a table. It seems like very casually playing dice. Like, not a lot of money on the table. Just super, super casual. It's like, it's coppers and silvers. It's not. It's
Can't
not
lose it
anything
all.
crazy.
No
the
high
first
stakes
day.
stuff. Yeah. Gotta wait a couple days at least. Russ is over there. Should we pull up, see if there's maybe any room at the table, or should we just head back on to the rooms once we let him know we're in?
You can go to the room. I'm going to the table.
Oh,
I'll
that makes
stay
sense.
with you, Nix. And is there anything we need to discuss as a party before we see Russ? I mean,
Let's see what
after some of our unceremonious ejection from the library, is there anything else
You're
anyone
right,
needs
I
to
should go
share?
tell him. Head
I
over.
mean,
Nix is over
yeah.
there.
All right. Yeah,
Oh
no,
goodness, I've got so much catching up to do.
Yeah. Let's get to it, I guess.
She's been drinking all day, man.
God.
Oh God. Oh yeah, all day long.
All
She's
day.
zazzled, guys. Just
You guys are not exactly subtle. You can see that Gleb makes full eye contact with you, Nix, and kind of gives like a wave in your direction. And Russ leans back in his chair and like kind of pushes it up onto the back legs and like tilts his head back to look at you and just smiles, and you can see those like the gold capped fangs on his teeth. Well, hello there. Welcome back from your nerd trip.
I got banned from the library.
No shit, what do you do? Is it because you're shit-faced?
No, that was after.
Perfect.
Oh God.
He scoots back and that's what you know, hey, you play a character, you gotta play a character, am I right? And he pats his thigh.
Oh,
Like, yeah, sit down.
Yeah.
Goes
yeah.
right
No,
ahead,
pull up
yeah.
a seat.
Yeah.
Tell
So
us a story.
Yeah.
so you sit down, and yeah,
Fenn's
so you
like,
have a seat at the
I
table.
really don't like to be touched. Oh, you meant her.
He pats his other thigh.
Hey!
No, I'll pass
Listen,
with
I
hard
have two
pass.
thighs, two tree trunks. two tree
I can
trunks,
sit
two friends.
sideways.
You all can side saddle. I could probably fit 4 of you if I try really hard.
I
One per
believe that
arm.
fully. Oh God.
So how'd you get kicked out of this library?
I cast magic on someone to help them, and then it threw me outside.
Well, that's very polite of you.
They look
and
tired.
also, that's a good reason to never go back to the library. So it's kind of a
I
win-win.
hate that library.
Sounds like it sucks. It's just a big room full of books.
Nana's the only one that likes this place now.
Yeah,
sucks.
everybody
She's
else
the-
is
she's
kind
the
of like
resident nerd.
is either in the middle or hates the library. And Nana's like, dude, I had a spiritual experience in this library. Is the
Nana
best.
had the best day ever.
Yeah.
It was
Everyone
the
else.
best day she's had in a while, and
She's like, this
everybody
library
else
fucking
did
rocks.
not.
Good for
Guys,
her.
send me back. I want to go for a day. Put me through the tree.
I can't until
so-
tomorrow. I have to wait.
That's
Um,
fine.
I think Roshan wants to just grab some water and head up to a room, and I think he's gonna try and chat with the shadow. So he'll step away and look like he's going to go sleep. Wink.
Roshan goes up to his room at 5 p.m. To go sleep, wink, wink.
Right.
Good.
There
Maybe
goes
you would
Angel.
Take the facial pot.
Always avoiding me, never bringing with him the
Always.
facial pot.
Oh God.
We'll find him tomorrow.
Oh, it'll be
Sure,
fine.
you can't avoid us forever. Roshan, you head upstairs. How are you contacting? How are you trying to connect with the shadow? What are you doing?
I think first he sits down truly exhausted because he did not sleep last night, nor did he rest while reading his own journal. He read everyone else's journal, and that's exhausting. So I think he sits down and casts silence, and just kind of puts his face in his hands and decompresses for a little bit, and then after probably the first 10 minutes are up, he'll cast it again and then look around for the shadow to see if he can see it.
You look around. It's strange. Sometimes the shadow is incredibly visible, almost close to having detail when you observe it. And in this situation, the shadow is more of in that phase where when you look at like hot asphalt, it's just sort of a shimmer.
A hot ass what?
Hot asphalt, you know, where you put your hot money. Can't do anything. Can't do anything in my own fantasy world. Can't bring up asphalt in my own fantasy world.
You can do everything in your own fantasy world.
Listen,
there's always
I
Roman
considered
concrete.
just dropping rocks from the sky, but
Oh,
I
God.
didn't because I'm kind. Because I'm
We
Thank you.
We bless you,
weird. Where did these
Sophia.
rocks come from while we're at the inn? Strange.
Oh,
Can I
no.
can I have a
Hope
few
everyone
rocks,
doesn't
Dungeon
die.
Daddy?
No. If the rocks fall, it's all over. It's all over, boys. But Roshan, you can see that the shadow is present.
I think in the silence he opens his mouth to speak and closes it and then opens again and says with no sound, was Dagwood sharing something with you?
There's a pause. Not much. Not very much.
Is it... never mind. I thought to do some research on your nature, but I couldn't find anything. You said you don't remember what happened before we met, right?
I do not, but now that we have revealed these shades that cling to my shadow, sometimes I have flashes, but they are not familiar to me.
Were there ever any flashes of Ave?
I know that name is important. I cannot pinpoint him.
I don't want to push your comfort, your safety when dealing with them, but I would like to eventually understand them better, and I hope you would trust me to help.
The impulse I have when it comes to those shades is I wish them gone, is I wish them to be. I wish to be myself. And speaking to Dagwood, she told me I was broken and seemed disappointed.
Are you disappointed?
It's hard to be disappointed when I don't know what I'm supposed to be. It is difficult for both of us as we are searching for potential that we do not have an image of in our minds.
Do you... I guess I don't know what to do to help. I've been keeping an eye out for potential sources of power, and perhaps the parapet is one. I'm not sure how much of that conversation you were there for, but I think there could be something there for you if you want it. And it may not be obvious now, but let me know what I can do to help.
I will put this idea into your head, and I will ask permission when the time comes. With this source of power, if it is adequate, I wish to use it to lighten my load. If that is something you wish to ponder. But if I am broken, maybe it is best to get rid of some pieces.
I trust you, and if that's what you deem you would like to do at that point, then I'll trust you then.
I appreciate you going into the library and looking for information, but I can tell you this. You are capable. And the fact that you found nothing means that the things you were looking for burned to ash on a table.
I think at that, Roshan's heart drops and his eyes dart to the face of the shadow, and he asks, so what Dagwood was looking into had something to do with you? With me?
In my opinion, yes. It seemed relevant. Something that we would have enjoyed picking up. But I was not given much from it.
She was supposed to give me something that Ave told her to, and what is she hiding from us?
I don't No.
No worries. Do you trust her?
I cared about her opinion. That does not equate to trust. Yet I don't know. I don't know.
Seems there's a long list of things we don't know and things that are being kept from us. And I trust Dagwood because she felt it wrong to not tell me. And I have to think at this point she's doing it for some kind of good reason, but it's a lot to think about. And I think... Oh, go on.
Yeah. There is a moment, and you can see the shadow during this conversation has moved closer. If, at some point, the need for knowledge grows, and that need is paired with desperation, danger, there is a way we could acquire any knowledge we seek. But it burns a powerful bridge. A powerful boon, if you will.
And right now I can't say I won't need a powerful boon to save a friend from her untimely end. Best have trust in Dagwood, even though perhaps it is foolish, but we're not in dire straits yet.
I agree.
And I think after that, Roshan will just sit down and drink his water, sober up, and start transferring notes over to the journal and have a quiet, relaxing night, you know.
All right. Meanwhile, downstairs, not relaxing night. What's going on? If anything, besides a bop.
I mean, most of it's probably a bop. Most of it, I feel, like just shooting the shit with Russ, I feel, is the general vibe.
Yeah.
Am I
At
wrong?
some point, Nyx is gonna tell him, I need to talk to you. Like, not around all the people.
Everyone like
Everyone looks away
It's
slightly.
like way too
It
loud.
doesn't count if you
Yeah,
just look away.
That's fine. That's fine. That's not
Right. That start of a conversation makes me nervous. So, would you like to go up to my room now?
Yeah, that's better than outside. It's cold out there.
It's fucking cold out there.
Plus, people think I'm weird because I came through a tree. So I don't want to be out there again today.
I would never judge you for coming out of a tree.
Thank you.
Of course,
it was really cool, too.
Exactly. I don't know why they kept looking at us like that.
I don't know. They were looking at us like we were, I don't know, two-headed horses.
Russ drops coin on the table. Enjoy your night. And is going to pretty much escort Nyx
Oh yeah.
up to his room.
Stairs are real bad.
Yup.
Yeah, no, it's...
Dear. Yeah, she needs some help.
But you move into the space. Same setup as the rooms you guys have. You can see where some of his things are. It's pretty sparse, but you can also see his plate, his full plate, sort of piled in a corner, vaguely politely.
As much as a pile can look nice.
Yeah, as much as a pile of armor on the floor can look nice. All right. What did you want to talk about?
Just gonna find a place and sit down.
Okay.
Wherever she chooses.
He will come and sit next to you. It'd probably be like the edge of the bed, so both of you sit down there.
Did I mention I really hate that library?
Maybe once or twice.
Everything we learned there was really bad. So, I don't know how to tell you. So, I didn't find it because it was really hard to find anything in there. It took me a whole day to find one book. But we found the ice. This ice.
Right.
I told you that we were gonna look for that, and Keld and Roshan found this book about curses. And in there, it's called the ice. It's like an ice sculpture curse.
Right.
And in there, the whole thing, it said, it's really, really bad. It's like something a hag will do to you, probably. And the only way to cure it, or you're definitely gonna die a cruel and painful death, is with a wish or doing a terrible trade. So, death curse. Super great.
Russ has like fully turned in your direction. He is not as intoxicated as you. He's actually
It's 5 o'clock.
yeah, dude's barely buzzed. Which, you know, for Russ, probably a choice. Being shitty by 5, probably not that weird for him, but he's
He
just
was waiting.
staring at you, and just the look on his face is soul crushing as he stares at you after you tell him you're dying.
I'm so sorry. No, I didn't.
He embraces you.
Yeah, she'll hug him back.
And he's quiet for a moment. And he grabs you by the shoulders and like kind of sets you back so you can look at each other. And his eyes, it's the manic look in his eyes that you've seen a couple of times now. We should get married.
I don't have a lot of time. That makes sense.
We should get married soon. Now, I could go get a ring if you want it to be like more official, but you deserve to be married and feel love, and there's no way my boss is going to let somebody fucking die on me again, you know? Because then I'd be useless.
Yes.
It'd be work benefits.
We could go right now. I don't have plans.
Where he just kind of is like, where do you go to get married? Like he's up.
I don't know. Does any of your friends? We could go ask. Maybe they know.
Nix, you deserve to feel every fucking piece of happiness in this world. And if that is on a truncated time, so be it. And if that is just that we use my connections to help you, whatever it is.
Well, let's go. Let's go figure it out.
Let's go figure it out. Pete gets up.
You fucking figure it out.
Yeah, we have to figure it out, guys.
So based on this, Nix, he is not going to stop at the table with the people who can have
No,
varying
let's go.
opinions. He is
Oh my
not doing
God.
that.
There's more.
Russ is
Wow.
not here for extra
No.
opinions on this.
Wow.
No.
Huh. Oh, they're in a hurry.
Yep.
What? Do-
Um,
I guess
He will-
they needed something?
he will escort you outside,
Great.
Bye.
and they're gone.
It's gone.
Russ and Nix gone. Yeah, I only can assume everybody else is just having like a casual time inside. You're hanging out with some cool people.
That's true.
You guys play, if you want to, low stakes games of dice, and you drink and you have casual conversations. Everyone seems content to have those here. You can see Brynja as like her back is so stiff as she watches them leave, but does not pursue.
Nana will at least take Brynja's lead insofar as if Brynja judges that this is not going to be a catastrophe and thus needing intervention, it's probably fine.
Did Kel notice them leaving?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like they are very visible color-wise and
Yeah.
noise-wise. So yeah, you'd watch
Yeah.
them leave.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean,
Okay.
I'd want to be like, where are you going?
I mean, right?
Just casually,
I-
like,
What's up? No.
Yeah, do you say
nothing?
anything,
No answer?
Nix?
We're gonna go talk to someone he knows.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, sweet.
About what? About what?
The door
He's
closes.
waving.
We have to go see a man about a horse, I guess. I don't know.
They are gone. They are
Okay.
gone.
Drop the lead for us.
Brynja
Well?
has the tightest fucking shoulders and is
Oh,
just
no.
trying to bring them back down. And takes the money off the counter and goes to get more drinks. Just scoops up the money that Russ put down and goes to get drinks.
Oh boy. I think Nana would wait for Brittany to get back and maybe ask her if perhaps he's done something like this before? Behavior like this? Does it bode ill? Is all she wants to know. She doesn't want the whole life story. It's like, are they gonna be okay?
They're not going to hurt each other, I can only assume.
I mean, I'd hoped that had been well established prior to now, but yeah, no, I don't
It
think
wasn't
so.
well established. They fought.
I mean,
No,
well,
there was no actual fight. Excuse
You're
me.
not there. You're getting married.
But Brynja sort of shrugs off any prying and gets into her cups.
Oh no.
So take that lead.
Oh boy. Okay. all right,
Everyone
okay.
gets into their cups
Yep,
or
let's
transfers
do
notes
it.
like a nerd. Whatever.
No.
Is
I
whatever.
mean,
Drinks water.
Hang on. We all have our proclivities and our ways of revamping ourselves after the end of a day. Some of it's alcohol, some of it's journaling.
Boo.
Maybe just like actual food, you know?
I mean, actual.
So-
food
Sounds like,
would
what if
probably
we,
also-
like-
I'm hungry.
We just had like
no,
a
we
nice
could
dinner.
We could have some snacks.
I will say that Fen is like one day off of recovering from a real bad hangover.
Yeah.
So like he's been like trying to bond with Keld, but he's not gonna try to like. He wants to drink, but he's not gonna try to like keep pace with this like what has to easily be a 600-pound man? Like, how much does Keld weigh?
It's a good
Like,
question.
he's got to weigh a
Can't
lot. He's
calculate
like
that, but yeah, he's a big boy.
seven something feet tall.
Yeah,
I mean, he's probably somewhere between the 200, 300 area, probably,
that'd
depending.
make
Are you
sense. for
serious?
his
He's
stature.
not the
Yeah.
built. He's not incredibly built. He's just he's
Oh,
pretty tall.
okay.
He's
He's
tall.
just
He
big,
has
big and
muscle,
tall.
but he's not like a big beefy boy coming in hot.
He's got to be.
no.
He's got to be
He's got some
heavier
like enough to
than
be able to wield his
200
stuff,
pounds, though.
He's
being,
between
uh,
that
Slightly.
window,
He's
probably
in
more
that
towards the
window.
300, but he's in that window.
but yeah.
Okay, all right.
Probably.
Upper
You guys
200.
could probably
Well,
look up like
I
a
don't-
sweet scale to put
What
him
matters,
on.
he can probably hold a lot of alcohol.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the thing
Fe-
is, you guys
Fen's not-
should not try to keep up with him.
No.
Yeah, Fenn's not gonna try to
That's
keep
a
up with him,
suicide.
but Fenn's gonna have fun, but like not try to keep up with him.
I'm not competing today.
Yeah.
No.
Tomorrow.
Not
Unless he's
won't
challenged
go.
to, in which case Fenn is obligated by character.
Yeah, but
I won't
you
go,
guys, yeah, you guys more casually drink. Some of you
Yeah.
maybe less casually than others, depending. But Russ and Nyx head outside, and just like the hit of the cold compared to being, inside and in and intoxicated, just like the just aggressive hit of cold air, and Russ is just like kind of fully holding you up at this point, even if you don't need it. It's just like a solid hold on you. And just the mania has not left his eyes. This is the state he is currently in.
Boy.
Where do you know where we should go? Have you ever?
I've never been married, no.
No.
Right. Do you want a ring?
I already have rings. I don't.
Do
We
you
can
want
do
a new
something
one?
else.
We could do something else. Is there something you want? By the way, also love this.
I'm gonna get a chain to make it go up to my ear. It's gonna match my outfit for our date.
That is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard.
And then we're gonna match all the time because you've got the fangs and I'll have that.
I love that. I want to get you a piece of jewelry. You deserve to have as many pieces of fucking jewelry as you want. He's a little loud. He keeps walking. The two of you begin to make your way through this town as the sun is beginning to set. And Russ seems determined to walk and also kind of lost. But
Great.
like there's this energy where if he can't stop moving, he has to keep pushing forward. And he looks over at you when he gets to like an intersection. Are you sure?
Yeah. Are you sure?
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever been more sure, honestly. I usually don't get like super sure on things. Usually I have to get a second opinion, but I don't feel like I need a second opinion.
I don't think it matters. As long as we're sure, that's all that matters.
I think that makes sense to me. He keeps walking. I'm gonna let this guy roll some dice to see if he can figure anything out.
Am I able to help him?
Yeah, sure. We'll let you help him to figure out.
With our matching intelligence scores?
Yeah. If it helps, guys, my dice also care not for this session. They also care not.
The dice gods just don't like this session in particular.
This session in particular, not vibing, and that's okay.
Yeah,
that's its
okay.
story in itself.
We will roll through the not vibes and proceed onward.
It's fine.
Russ takes you back to Merriment Square, where it's where you bought a lot of like outfits, and pushes his way in. Not sure if the door is going to be locked or not. Like went in hard at this door to push open into a jewelry shop.
Let's go.
All right, first step. So when you imagine me down on my knee in front of you,
Mm-hmm.
what do I put on you? What do you see?
Well, it has to be gold, right? Because of we have a theme.
We do have a theme. Well, I have a theme, and if you want, you could share my theme, and then it could be your theme.
I would
Our
like
theme.
It. I think yes, ours.
Our theme.
Yes.
I like the sound of Nyx the Gold. Anyways, what are you picturing?
Well, we could get. Do you think there's something that has a red and a blue gem in it of some sort? Both.
There is a horrified store owner in the corner currently. Russ, an imposing figure, walks straight up to them. Hey there, you could calm down. You're about to get a shit ton of money. Do you have a ring or piece of jewelry, or could make one in the next 10 minutes with a red and a blue gem on it? And this woman who is like made herself incredibly small in her own store, being slightly intimidated. We do. We have those gems in stock. We also have, I don't know if this is what you're looking for, but we have purple, which would be a mix of the two colors together. That would be easier.
I mean that does make sense. She does have a point.
She does have a point. She's like, she has a point.
We could do purple.
Could do purple. Ring, necklace, circlet, earring. What do you want?
She's looking at each piece. Her body. I think we should do ring. I think that makes the most sense.
I think so too. It's classic.
Yeah.
Timeless.
And it would make the most sense if people are like, what's that for? They don't really have to ask as much if it's a ring, you know? They would know.
They would know, right? And he turns to the shop owner who's like, this shopkeep is scared. this shopkeep is uncomfortable. But Russ seems to not care, and Nyx is incredibly intoxicated and cares not.
So bad.
You are brought through a process where she pulls out these things she's already put away for the day and begins to set up sort of a display of different rings that they have. There are ones that are like set with like a larger purple gem, like an amethyst, and there are ones that are set with smaller ones, and then there's ones that are a golden band but with a vein of purple that runs through it. Any of these speaking to you?
Was that the only gold one? If that's the only gold one, then the one with the purple vein makes the most sense.
Yeah, I would say all of them. The ones she has presented are gold, as she has heard your conversation about it. But whichever one stands out to you, Russ is hanging on to every word you say and just staring at you.
Do you like that one?
You point to the one with the vein.
Yeah.
It almost looks like it was like metal incredibly heated and then dropped into like an ice bath where it shattered in places and it was filled with a purple gem of sorts. I think it's perfect.
I think that's the one.
All right. This woman with shaky hands grabs these rings. And you see does like a bit of magic where like it puts the ring on you. It's a bit too tight, and then like you watch the ring slightly expand with just some casual magicking, whoop, and then slips kind of onto your finger for a fitting. The same is done with Russ, and the woman sort of like takes the rings and puts them into like a little bag, and is like, okay, that's gonna be. Russ takes a sack out of his bag, drops it heavy on the counter. Yeah, you keep that. Okay, and like hands him the bag back. Okay, Russ is like holding the bag. All right,
Step one.
that's step one. Step
Turn to
two.
the lady. Do you know where we can get married?
She looks to you and she's feels better about the fact that like a large sum of money has just hit the counter in this interaction, because she did not think that would happen. She fully thought she was being robbed for the extent of this. Well, there's a temple of, and Russ like pipes up. I know exactly what you're fucking talking about. Let's go.
Okay. Thank you. Head out.
And both of you run at like you just like sprinting through town, just like it is a merry time. Russ is all smiles and like laughter and crazy eyes. You know, a good combo of things. And just to juxtapose, yeah, what's going on? Juxtapose down.
No, it's fine. I love it. You got it. Nailed it.
I'm calling it
Down,
good. That's how it's said now.
That's the word.
Post.
Juxtapow at the inn.
Yep. That's the one.
You guys, what are we doing? What are we up to, if anything? Or just like, and we're having a casual drink with casual conversation while this happens in the background.
I mean, the things that Nana wants to talk about with her buds aren't really things that she's drunk enough to be just saying in the bar. So I think she's just chilling. She's having some beers, but probably not going as hard and heavy, I think, as she has been. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Fenn's probably hanging out with Kel. He's been trying to like get to know him better. They were researching teleportation magic.
Nana wants to hear about
But
that.
also like Russ was the interesting person here. Like the energy's gone from the room, so Fenn's
you
just
know.
like
Gotta
trying to
make
stay
our
like
own.
a drink and a half behind Kelp. That's all.
There you go.
Who should weigh a lot more than 300 pounds.
Welcome to this fantasy world where the numbers make no
My
sense.
bones are made of styrofoam.
Hey, listen, sometimes you got
The numbers
light bones.
make no sense and the scores mean nothing.
Yeah. I just feel like it gets to a certain point in the night and Kel just sort of turns to Finn and is like, how do we find the hag?
You know, a
It's
hag.
not a hag.
I've only ever heard stories of a hag. Like, I've never met a hag before. They're supposed to be from somewhere else, I guess. But those are stories. Those are fairy tales for small children. Like, I've never met a hag. I met an old woman in the woods that we thought was going to be a hag, and she was an old woman. And she turned herself into a young woman and ran off after healing Nana. Like,
I wouldn't have called her a hag, though. A hag's a kind
we
of
thought she was going to be a hag, though.
Well,
Didn't
no,
you
that
think she
is
was
true.
going to
We
be a
were
hag when we
worried.
were... Yeah.
I was
We were
deeply
worried.
concerned for a while.
But because
She
of
just had that
the
vibe.
fairy tales, maybe hags aren't bad. Like,
Maybe not all of
we
them.
thought hags were bad, but this person wasn't even a hag. Maybe hags are just people. I don't know. I've never
Hags are people.
I've never met a hag. I've just heard about them around the campfire to scare children.
I've heard
one or
stories
two
too, but
stories. I don't know.
I'm pretty
Make
sure
me
they were
question
real.
Do you have a reason to believe they were real? Kelda, I'd
mean-
love to know. Do you tell us a story?
Oh.
Well,
What about the hags that you know about? What have you heard about?
there's one my grandmother told us about.
Yeah.
Some people said it was just a story to scare children, but the way she talked about it, I think she saw this hag.
Was this
Okay.
like the two old people who were telling the story about Gamut Grot? Was it the same vibe? You were there. No, you were inside. Oh, damn. Never
Oh,
mind. Go
he
ahead.
was inside. That's when when we were in what was the name of the town? No, what was the name of the town?
I'm too
You
deep
and
in
Nix
my
went into the
cups now, I
general
don't know.
store. We there was an old couple on the porch, and they were telling stories. They told us about a big wolf named Gamut Grot. But it was
It
was
had the vibe of like the campfire story. It didn't. It was
it
like.
didn't match up
ooh,
with what we'd
spooky.
seen.
Not really, nor what we found out about from Greaves. So, I don't know.
Have you heard of the Somler?
The Somler. No,
Yeah?
I've never heard of
I
that.
don't
Have we,
think,
Jillian?
no.
No.
I'm shaking my head.
No, no.
Is it? Sounds like something. Sounds sleepy. Is it a sleepy thing?
I don't think so. She was, I don't know what she was, but my grandmother called her the Somler, or I've heard the lurk of the brushwood, but she was a woman, very, like, pale and long, dark hair. But apparently there was something unnatural about her, too.
Did people
Killed- you know
go
what?
to her for like remedies and things, or was she just a
No,
monster?
people avoided her.
Oh.
Well, Keld, I am all for defending our realm against things from the outside that don't belong here. But you say there's something unnatural about her. Honestly, there's something unnatural about every one of us. I've never met someone as tall as you who could place their hands on someone and heal them to the fullest extent of their natural health after being on the door of death. You'll bring them back from the other realm.
Fair point.
I think even
I'm-
Tordrict was great as a healer. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure he ever quite did that.
Tordric couldn't do that, but Tordric's the only person that I knew of that could speak to 9 goddesses.
9
That's
goddesses.
true.
I've
Nine.
met I've met 2 and been yelled at by 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not 9. I've met Brian and Loki, but yelled at by Lady Seda.
I got to talk to Snotra
You talk to Snotra. No. Wait,
at the library. Yeah.
why are we talking about hags when you talk to a goddess?
I didn't.
Yeah, what?
Were you going to mention that to us?
I was going to wait until everybody was together so I could say it once.
All right, Keld, I'll get back to your point. Nana has the floor.
What? No, it was nothing really. I was just, I don't know. I talked with Roshan this morning, and I had been keen. I'd said about finding out more about those flowers and what they meant and why I'd been seeing them in my dreams and why I'd seen them when Ave died. And so Roshan had found a book about that and showed me, the closest thing that we could possibly find was this flower that's been extinct since almost before the fall. And the way that it was spread behind this corrupted thing. Like, it left this trail of these flowers behind it, and they could go dormant, and they could be, they were hardy, but they were poisonous, and they looked nice, and so people would eat them thinking they'd be nice, and they'd die. And so
Yeah,
with
the rookie mistake. You hate to see it.
I know, but I think probably with the way that place was and so on, I think it was just, you know, the way the corruption is. It tastes blood, and it starts putting nature into it. So what we found out was really it's not anything that's liable to be useful to Bosch. It's not likely to be something that has really any likelihood of showing up ever again.
Well, you said it's not likely to be extant anymore. Like,
Right.
it is a thing that ceases to be. So that's reassuring in that it's not useful to Bosch, but
And what of this
it's not
goddess?
reassuring in that. How did it end up in your head, Nana? How long ago did this species go extinct? How long ago?
Almost since before the fall, I said.
So how do you come to have the knowledge of a flower
I didn't.
that doesn't
I didn't.
exist inside
I
your
s-
brain?
I looked at it,
I'm not saying that you've ever seen it.
and no,
I'm saying
I didn't know anything about it, Fen. I've been turning this over in my head for months. I've
I
been seeing it in
understand.
my dreams every night for months, and I could not. It's nothing, Fen. Really, actually, what it is basically I saw it when my brother died, and I'm just now my brain thinks it sees that, and it thinks about death and about corruption, and so they're just linked. It's just dreams being funny, and now I can move on from it and see after I found all that out, I really kind of needed some time to myself. I'm sorry I wasn't more available this morning to help with research, but
Hey, Nana, you're all right. You're fine.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
You don't need to apologize for not being available to us. You don't need to be available to us at all times. It's not who you've ever been. You've only ever been the sort of person that tries to be available all the time. And that's more than anyone could ask for. Like, your intentions are where they need to be. They're not. Your capabilities are not what we ask of you. Those are two different things. Anna, you eat.
Yeah, no, actually, I
You can't
suppose
blame
I could have
yourself
saved
for
myself a. Go ahead.
No, I don't mean to interrupt you.
It's only
You-
I probably. Sorry.
No,
I'm
no,
so.
it's yours. It's yours. It's yours. Oh, from here on, I'm not going to speak.
You are more like Snotra than I am. And I've tried very hard to be very prudent my whole life. And I don't think I've really succeeded very often, but I think the times that I have, it's been when I've taken advice from friends like you, Fan. Because I think that was probably Snotra speaking through you, because when I sat at her shrine in the library, I don't know, I just meditated, and after a time, I heard her voice. And she told me that basically what you said, it's being available and caring, yes, but capabilities don't come into it as much as I think they do, I suppose.
Well,
I guess I'm
she
always
told you-
treating things like a problem.
She told you these things. She's supposed to be a goddess, and told you these things, but didn't tell you what the best next prudent step was, even though she's the goddess of prudence.
No, she actually cleared up a lot for me, and I think I've actually got a clearer sight forward now than I've had in a long time, but I can really only kick myself because I don't know. I think I've been hearing things like it in things you all have been saying to me for a long time, and I don't think I've heard it. I'm sorry.
No. In all my prudence, in all my caution and careful observance of the world, I think that we've got each other to trust. And I'm with you. Whatever you feel is right, but not this goddess that doesn't know us from anything.
Well, I don't know about that. I'd like
No.
to go back and talk to her again.
Well, hold the and Fenn's gonna get up to go get more beers for the
Yeah,
table.
that's fine.
Okay. The extra people at your table quietly sit through that.
Well, yeah, Nana wasn't meaning to get sloppy, but here she is.
Yeah, they just a bunch of
I'm
people
like, oh.
casually
Feelings,
drinking.
Cool. This was why I wanted to wait until everybody was here. Oh well.
As Fen is walked off.
I'm sure we're not missing anything that anyone else is doing. Nobody else could be doing anything important. It's just a chill night.
Yes.
Dagfin looks over at you, Nana, kind of awkwardly up from his drink. I mean, if you want to heal people, you should just ask Snotra for cleric powers. And, like, takes a sip from his drink. But meanwhile, speaking of Snotra and Prudence, there are two people who out in the setting sun, running through the town square. And Russ stops Nyx and has you like in front of this fountain. He's like, "You deserve for this to be right." And he drops down onto one knee in front of this fountain that he's put you in front of, and you see that it's pretty scenic. Like the view of some of the snow-covered shrubbery and the nice tiling of the ground and the like very nice put together buildings that kind of encapsulate the area. Nyx, for whatever reason, you say yes to this. That is enough for me. Whether it is for the benefit, or if you feel something, or why not. Know that I am in it squarely. Nyx, will you marry me? And pulls out the ring that you guys just got
No,
together.
we just got.
that you just got.
Yeah. She'll hold out her hand. Yes.
And he reaches up and places the ring onto your finger, and kind of like has your hand there and kisses right above the knuckles and kind of holds for a second and then lets go. Right. And he starts to stand up. Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's gonna like wrap her arms around him and give it an actual kiss.
As he's beginning to stand, you kind of lean into him, so he's just pushed back down onto one knee. And you kiss him after he proposes to you in front of this beautiful fountain. And he kisses you back, and it is a tender, drunken moment in front of a very scenic venue. And he looks to you. There's a temple. Would you like... My fiancé, Nyx, would you be interested in becoming my wife?
I would. She'll wrap her arm around him.
The
Which
both
way
of you...
is it?
That's a very good question, I'm going to guess. And the both of you start making your way through the town. People looking at you like, there's a couple drunk people running around town talking very loudly. But he kind of meanders through this, through Merriment Square, and stops in this area that looks like during the spring would be a beautiful garden. Just immaculate and colorful if it were the season. But instead now it is a stoic place of powdery white snow. And he leads you into this space and towards a stone building. Almost kind of looks like a somebody has to give me the word. When you bury people in a little stone house?
Oh.
Mausoleum.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a kind of big mausoleum.
Nice.
And the pillars of it are statues of a very attractive, very shapely woman. Is just in different poses is the pillars of this building. And he goes to the front and starts to hit his fist against the door. Excuse me? Do you do weddings? And is just slamming his fist against the door. And a woman eventually comes and opens the door. An attractive young woman who it looks like had started taking her hair down from the day, so it's like partially undone braids. And she's like trying to like kind of pull her hair back and like put it back just as a ponytail now. She's like, it's a bit late. How can I help you? Yes, here at the Garden of Loven, we are often doing weddings. Are you interested in We're planning a wedding for the next minute or so.
Yeah.
If you're available, if that isn't too much of a burden on you, for you to come outside real quick and provide us a wedding. She kind of looks to both of you. All right. And seems perfectly happy to do it. Nyx, if you give me a religion check with disadvantage.
Oh, good.
Lord.
I got a 19 and a nat 20, so that puts
Wow.
me at 18.
There you go.
The one good roll of the night, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's the perfect spot for it to happen,
timing.
as you're able to sort of catch on to where you are with these images of these women, and the willingness of the woman who sees the image in her head of you both being married. You believe that this is in some way a temple of Loven, which is a goddess of, the best way I think to put it is peculiar marriages. Of course, I'm sure people come here for your average wedding. It's a beautiful place. But this is a love wins every time sort of goddess and religion. It doesn't matter. It wins. You want to get married? Great. Perfect. You both happy? I mean, you both are a little shitty, but sure, yeah, whatever. You're in the right place. Clearly happy, and that's what works at this temple. And she comes back out wearing like a larger coat. All right, follow me over this way, and we can get started. And she takes you over to this archway that once probably had beautiful ivies circling and twisting up it, and now it is just sort of a snow-covered arch instead. And she looks at the two of you, and she's going to make an assessment. Feels pretty good about it. And sort of smiles back, and sort of like looks you over and smiles and is like, here in this place, a gift is being offered. Two people are offering a gift to each other, and they have asked me bear witness. And I would never deny being part of so special a gift-giving process. This is a place where we stand in the setting sun under a snowy arch. She looks up to see kind of her situation. Beautiful, silent, and soft. Maybe not what you expected or had in mind. And maybe not your style, perhaps. But it is where you both now stand before me and ask that I wed you. And I see no reason to say no to such a bond. And I will agree with you on this, as from what I can surmise, we are not all here for long speeches and winding stories about how the goddess looks down upon us and only wishes happiness. All I wish for you is happiness. All you can wish for each other is happiness. I won't stop you from kissing, to be honest, and sort of like takes a step back. And Russ now initiates this kiss and like wraps his arms around you and kisses you. And this woman watches this beautiful wedding take place, unsure of what the fuck is going on. But she says the vibes are good. So she watches. And he kisses you, and then he kind of like brushes your hair back, which is difficult, as the large chunks of ice. And he holds you and looks into your eyes, the mania never leaving his face. I am either going to save you, or I am going to give you the best damn life you've ever had. Or both. Honestly, hey.
Let's go for both.
Let's go for both.
Hell yeah.
And the two of you stand under the snow arch as the sun sets, and this woman looks on like, aw, like, oh, neat. Not what I expected today, but I love it. And his eyes slowly begin to relax, but his smile does not fade. And with that, that is where we will end tonight's episode, with a wedding. You know, hey, you bring two int 8 characters together, and they will have a wedding on the second week. Before their first date, their first kiss will be at the engagement. All very normal and cool.
First kiss was on the cheek. Second kiss was the wedding kiss.
Yeah, first lip kiss right now.
What do you call a shotgun wedding when gunpowder hasn't been invented yet?
this is something for the people to ponder as we must all go into the void as the sun has set.
Join
thank
us on
you
the
all for-
Discord. We might channel the episode after it.
Yeah, people have opinions. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. We love telling you a story, especially especially one like this. It starts with getting banned from a library and ends in a nice,
saw
beautiful,
that
impromptu wedding. But here at the Dice Cult, we got the stuff and we got the things. If you head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult, you can watch all of our past episodes to see how long have they known each other. Not long at all. But does that matter to somebody who had just got their kind of their ticket punched? Maybe not. You're welcome to have your quiet, loud opinions, but it's too late. We're married. We have other stuff you could watch. We got one shots. We got Vampire the Masquerade, where Katie and I also are stupid and fall in love.
But they didn't get married.
They did not get
That's
married.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
They
would've
had
been
some
a
forethought.
Yeah.
They were
How
busy.
did Tyr have more forethought than Russ?
I could think of almost a million reasons why.
They were a little busy with other things.
Yeah, Russ, not busy tonight.
That's true.
Tyr, always busy. There's no time for a wedding. But here in this beautiful fantasy space, we did. So if you'd like to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. If you'd like to keep up with all of us, we are at The Dice Cult on Instagram and Twitter. Once again, we love telling you guys a story. We'll be here same time, same place Mondays, I should say. Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.